What's good? What it do? What's poppin'? King Eugene in the building. In this video right here, I'm gonna let some of you fellas know why your woman won't submit to you, what you can do to change that, and how to discover who's actually running the relationship. Because it may not be either one of you.
3G. Yeah. I do what I do. I do what I do. You do it through me. 3G.
Let's talk about it. So, I sat back and I really examined my relationship and the relationships of those around me. And unfortunately, I've discovered that most men aren't leading their relationships. They're not steering, guiding the relationships. So if the men aren't leading the relationships, who's leading the relationships? It's the women. And if it's not the women by themselves, it's either them and a best friend or a close family member. Father, mother, sister, brother, something like that. Why is that? To keep it 100, some men don't know how to lead, unfortunately. So the woman has to lead the relationship. Some women don't believe you, their man, knows how to lead the relationship. So they do it themselves. And some women have been hurt in the past by allowing someone else to lead the relationship. And they refuse to let it happen again. And that's why you're in that predicament. Whatever that reason is that she's not allowing you to lead, why she's not being submissive, it is our job to identify the reason and overcome the reason. And we do that by communicating, asking questions, answering questions with our spouse. It is not the woman's role to lead or guide the relationship. That is not her weight to bear. It is something that we as men should be taking care of. How can you expect your woman to truly respect you when you're not able to fulfill your primary role? Let's be honest. So this is a quick quiz to discover who's actually running your relationship. First question: who does your spouse normally text and call the most throughout the week? Next question: who does your spouse normally go to or talk to when they really need to vent or they're upset? Next question: if you and your spouse get into an argument, who does she go to? Who does she call? Who does she reach out to? Next question: who does your spouse spend most of her free time with? Next question: God forbid, if your spouse was by herself running errands and she was rushed to the hospital, who's the first person she reaches out to? Once you get the answer to these 5 questions, whose name is there the most? That lets you know who has the most influence over your spouse and possibly your relationship. Now, fellas, don't overreact. If you realize you're not leading, you're not steering, you're not guiding your relationship, and someone else is. Overreacting, getting upset, getting angry is not gonna help. Now, what you need to do is find a way to get your name at the top of those answers to the questions that we just asked her. It's gonna take some time. Can't rush it. Can't force it. And if you try to, you're gonna stay in the same predicament. I'm only sharing this because I realized at a certain point in my relationship, I wasn't leading it. I wasn't guiding. I wasn't steering my marriage in the direction I felt was best for us. I was allowing her to lead, or whoever was leading her to lead us at that time. And I was wondering why we weren't aligned, why we weren't on the same page as much as I felt we could have or should have been. And I had to ask these questions. I had to figure out the answers. had to make some adjustments, had to do some things different to see a difference within my relationships. But I hope this helps. And if you feeling the vibe, like and subscribe. And if you ain't, so what? And I'm out.